I bring to you the last segment of what we were discussing about the effective keys to communication, and I say there are three of them. We have already looked at honesty, we have looked at immediacy, and today we are going to look at seal. Seal can also mean closure. The seal that I'm talking about is S-E-A-L. The S-E-A-L can be the closure to what you have been discussing. It is very important never to leave loose ends in any relational discussion. When you have had a problem in the house, for example, you have to seal, you have to bring it to closure. But what does it necessarily entail? What does it mean to bring them into closure? Because many families have still problems pending 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line. You still remember the problems, the mistakes that people did. You forgive, but you still remember. I'm not saying it is easy to forgive and forget, but we can forgive the mistake and forget the pain, which only comes by grace. By nature, we are Christians, and we are supposed to have the nature of God, the attitude of God. He says He has forgiven your sin and He doesn't remember them anymore. He also says that as far as the east is from the west, that is how He has separated you from your sin. The only relationship that we have with our God is a relationship of love. And if we can borrow the love relationship that we have, that God has for man, then all our relationships will be at bliss. We will rejoice in our relationship. We will have the joy of marriage. Everything in marriage will become okay. Because if you have forgiven someone, you do not have to tie the present him to the past sin that he did. So seal can also be a word, but also it can be an acronym. S-E-A-L. And the first S, the first letter S, talks about the stating clearly of the problem. You have to state clearly what the problem is. Remember, we talked about immediacy. Now, when you're stating your problem, state your mistake, state your reaction, let it be clear. When you don't state your mistakes clearly, when you don't state your forgiveness clearly, people might mistake. Then after 1 week, you say, I thought you had forgiven me of this. Then he thinks he had forgiven a certain mistake. We have to be very clear and specific. You see, in the same relationship that we have with our God, He says, you have to lay down your request clearly. If you have come for forgiveness about something, state it clearly. State it clearly. Then the person who is forgiving has also to know what he is forgiving. It must be clear, so that as you react clearly with clear words. And I will advise this. If there is a possibility that even in your own conversation and communication that there is anger, clarity does not come with anger. Anger is not a sin. The Bible says you can be angry. It is good to be angry. You have the right to be angry, but do not let your anger run till sunrise. Till the next day. You have to work on your anger so that immediately you come and in a clear mind with a cool heart, when you have chilled out, you can come and state everything clearly. The second E is to explain. Explain how you feel to one another. Explain what you want to do to one another. Explain what you are supposed to do from that moment on. When you explain your feelings, the other person might not wrong you again. The other party may be cautious on how they handle maybe finances and other things. So you sit down and explain and express. Give your clear expressions about the steps you have to follow from that moment on, so that the mistake cannot be repeated again. When the mistakes are well explained, then people will have to know that this is what my husband doesn't like, and this is what my wife doesn't like, and these are the boundaries that we should take. Don't mind the motorcycles outside. I'm in my office at the school, but I felt like bringing this to you. And the A is you have to approach the solution together. Approach the solution together. State it, explain it, and approach the solution together. When you approach the process of the solution together and work it out together, it will become, you take it as a responsibility. This is what we have done. This is what we are correcting, because the two of you have become one flesh. Therefore, you left everything behind. Approach it together. Every decision making that you do in the process of solution finding must be worked out together. What does it entail? It entails finding time, creating time, having an outing as the two of you as you walk through the process of solution finding together, so that in the end, let it not be said that this was your own decision, this was your own making. It must be our making. In a family, there is no you and you. It is always our, because the two of you have become one. And lastly and most important, the Bible says we can have all the other gifts, but without love, it is in vain. So the L stands for love. Remember, love covers a multitude of sins, and love endures so much. Therefore, if you have love at the point of closure, in fact, maybe we would never have divorces, because love is patient, love is kind, love endures and perseveres. So when you have love, let it cover the multitude of sins. Love is a clean slate. Therefore, state clearly, explain and express clearly, approach it together as one party, a family. Then lastly, love. When you love, things will blossom. Your finances will start blossoming. Your social life will blossom. Your career life will be easier. Everything that you do, your children will grow up knowing that there is a love. If we do not love, we are creating a heritage for our children that is of hate and doubt. When we love, our kids will love, our grandchildren will love, and the heritage, the legacy that you have left behind is the legacy of love. May God bless each and every family. May God expand each and every family. Let love overflow in every family so that God can continue blessing us together. God bless you.